Howdy, everyone. This is Dave Mossberg flying solo for our weekly update with $100,000 challenge. Levi is busy in the background working on a few new things, and we are just continuously working on developing our company. This week, we're hoping to be a really big week for us. We launched a business plan program. We have only soft launched it by talking through discovery at a few of our known friends, and we were already able to sell one package. And so we're real excited about that. Now, I've been in the business planning business for years. And so ironically, this is something that I used to do and not charge for because typically we did it for paying clients. The goal with this is to bring that expertise, some of the AI tools to refine the programs and do some of the competitive research, and then also be able to work on a specific niche industry to be able to provide comprehensive and actionable business plans. So we're real excited that we sold the first one already, and you'll see that hit the bank account here in the next couple of days as it's clearing. And then we'll also be able to provide you with some updates on what our launch plan is for that particular business, which we'll be rolling out in the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, we also have two pretty aggressive agreements out there right now. Hoping to get one back this morning. This is with an agency that has over 60 people that could potentially use this product. We're super excited because not only will it, of course, potentially have a lot of referrals coming in for us, but it also has a great potential to catapult this person's business into the next generation. So they've been in business for over a decade right now. They have a pretty good sized business, but the owner believes that based on the tool that we were able to create specifically with his needs, that he could potentially double his business in just 2 years. He built it to this level in 10, and then he thinks with this tool he can double it in two. So there's a huge value proposition in this relationship. The other great part is as he doubles his business, he will require that every new person coming into his business, so if he has 60 right now, the next 60 will also be subscribers of ours to use the tool to grow their business. So with that in mind, this could be the home run we're looking for, and we're only 6 weeks in. So with that in mind, as you're working through things, one of the lessons that I learned early on is that don't fix $100,000 problem with $100 solution. What I mean by that is when I used to think, and this is part of the American training, right? We're trained to exchange a dollar for an hour. And so we're brought up, you go get a job, and in that job, they pay you X dollars per hour. When I started, it was like $5 an hour. And that was above minimum wage at the time, by the way. And so working for $5 an hour, I was emptying trash cans. Then I got up to $7.50 an hour. I was pretty big stuff. And I was bussing tables at a restaurant. And they treated me really well because in addition to that $7.50 an hour, they fed me, and I like food. So that actually worked out really good for me in the value proposition. But in the meantime, when I look back, that's a small amount of money. Now, mind you, when I started emptying trash cans at an accounting firm right across the street from my house, I was 12 years old. Then I started working in restaurants at 13 years old as a busboy, and it was a decent job. I worked on the weekends. I had money to do what I wanted with, and it actually worked out pretty good. And they fed me, like I said. So it was a good gig. They treated me really well. I got a chance to learn about teamwork and customer service. So it was a valuable relationship at the time. The reality is, I carried that all the way till I was almost 40 years old, in which case I was exchanging my time for a salary. The cap was based on the industry and the company's limitations. They paid me well, but they only paid me to the limits of the industry. This is what the industry standard was, and that's what they paid me. So I felt like I was doing pretty good because I was at the high end of the industry standard, but I was still capped on what I could earn. Then I started to learn a few things about if I had a $50,000, $10,000, $1,000 problem, I had to find a solution for that amount, which changed the whole way that I started to consider my problems and my finances. So the $100,000 challenge is not predicated just so that I can get a pool. It's predicated so that we think differently. If I have $1,000 product and I have to sell it one at a time, I have to think about 100 different people who I can engage with to get to $100,000. If I think about it from a $50,000 or $100,000 mark, I only need one or two people to engage with who can bring me the bandwidth for that. So if I can find an organization like the one I'm referring to right now that already has 50 or 60 potential users, and then maybe the potential to bring on another 50 or 60 potential users, my $100,000 problem is solved with one relationship. That changes the game. It also changes what you're thinking about. I find that most people who go into sales, I've a lot of friends who are in the insurance business. They go into the insurance business, and the first part of training is this: friends and family. Who do you know in your friends or family circle of influence that will need this product or service or would benefit from it? You learn all about the benefits and all that stuff. And then they tell you to just start dialing for dollars. Start calling everyone who could buy one policy. Imagine if you applied the mindset that I just provided to you, and instead of just doing one policy, you went to an employer that had 100 employees that needed life insurance, or 1,000 employees, and were able to just simply provide education to them, give them information that they could use, and potentially gain 500 customers at one time versus gaining one. And so it really is a game changer. So if you're in the throes like we are of growing a business or doing something that's going to reach a financial goal, think about the whole goal and think about potentially trying to chew it in one bite instead of multiple over and over and over again. And absolutely, the one-offs count. We need to build our sea legs. We need to get good at providing the service that we're offering. But in the meantime, once we get to a cadence where we feel confident in our product and our ability to deliver the service, let's think bigger. Nothing is slowing us down from that. So in the meantime, we'll go back to the weekly update. I just wanted to share that with you because it was on my heart and inspirational for me to recognize, and it changed my trajectory. So in the meantime, our bank account this week should double. So we're really excited about that. We've got the business plan coming in. We've got 2 other contracts that I'm expecting signatures on and pay portal information on today. And then we'll just continue to develop that. We'll be able to report and share with you some bank account stuff. We're also next week going to bring Levi on to actually show you one of our primary tools, which is our business facing AI CRM assistant. This is doing something that's really important. We found that while we were doing discovery sessions, one of the best ways for us to learn directly from our clients, we were getting feedback that the clients were all struggling utilizing or maximizing the value of their CRMs, their customer relationship management tools. And what that was doing was making sales fall through the cracks. It was taking relationships to a transactional level versus a relational level. And it was giving them no ability to truly get out the value out of the CRM that they were paying for. So what we've established, Levi thought through this. He built agents that can talk to the salesperson, not to the customer. The salesperson can then, after a meeting, go in there, talk through the process, provide the information for the CRM, set the parameters of what the CRM needs to do to remind us to make phone calls, appointments, follow-ups, proposals, all of those things in one tool that you're simply interacting with as if you had a highly compensated administrative assistant. So we're going to share that with you live on next week's update. So look forward to that. And in the meantime, if you are thinking about getting something started and you're waiting for the perfect moment, start this week. Just pick 30 minutes of time, grab your phone, get 30 minutes of time that you're going to be able to work on one piece of this new business venture and get started. We don't want you waiting any longer than you have to, because if you continue to wait, you'll continue to become disheartened, you'll become distracted, and you may never get started on accomplishing your goals. So I know this update has been a little bit vague. Unfortunately, we haven't had a huge amount of transactional updates to provide, but we definitely wanted to provide to you what's in the hopper so that when we provide next week's update, it's going to be impactful, it's going to be valuable, and we're on our way to the $100,000 goal. Thanks for watching.